I'll start with the budget. As you know, I'm now a member of the Appropriations Committee, so the budget, the appropriations is certainly one thing that's going to be affecting you one way or the other. I'll talk a little bit about immigration reform, and then I'll leave it open for any questions and answers that you might have on banking issues. I did vote against the Dodd-Frank bill, so if anybody's wondering how I voted on that, I voted against that because I've always felt that if you have a problem, you focus on that problem and not paint everybody with the same paintbrush, and that's a solution that both Washington and Austin have a tendency of doing, is that instead of focusing on a problem, they paint everybody with this. I don't think y'all were involved with Wall Street and the issues that we have, but y'all were included along with other folks, so that's why I voted against this. Let me just talk about the two issues, the budget, and then let me talk about immigration reform, because I think that will affect all of us one way or the other. Number one, on the budget, I have people, I just had a town hall meeting, and all the town hall meetings I've had, people will ask me to do three things in one breath. One, keep our taxes low. Two, reduce the deficit because it's out of hand. And number three, don't cut my program because my program is the most important program in the whole world. I don't know if your plane was delayed when you were flying up here, but I got to Houston, everything was fine, we got in. We flew an hour later because the as you know, FAA had been cut a bit, they were furloughed, so therefore budget cuts sequester itself there. The problem with the budget or the deficit here in the United States is very simple. Let me simplify it. $3.7 trillion is our federal budget. $2.7 trillion a year is what the taxes and fees bring in. The deficit is that difference. Now, we as business people, I've been a small business owner myself, the first thing we think about is, okay, if your expenditures are at 3.7, your income is at 2.7, what's the first thing we say? Reduce your expenses down to match the revenues. I've been a small business owner, and that's the logical position. Now, if we did that, our job would be very easy as members of Congress, because the only thing I would be talking to you about is talking to you about Social Security, Medicare, and the entitlements, and that pretty much is it. Maybe there'll be a little bit of money left. That would be it. No money for the military, no money for Homeland Security, no money for transportation, no money for education, no money for research, because everything pretty much goes to the entitlements. In fact, the first thing I learned when I got into the appropriations, well, I knew this already, but the first thing the chairman told us when we got into the appropriations was, by the way, 2/3 of the budget is on automatic, and we only deal with 1/3 of the budget. That's it. The rest is on the automatic itself, what I call Social Security and Medicare and those type of entitlements. And I say this because eventually, if we are going to be addressing the issue of the appropriations for the budget, we have to deal with the issues that are a little touchy, Social Security and Medicare. Nobody wants to talk about it. The elderly have a good way of coming out and voting. But again, if we are going to address this issue, we have to address the issue of Social Security, Medicare at one time or another. I'm one of those that I feel that, there's a lot of ways of addressing this, but we got to get together, both Democrats and Republicans, because if a Democrat comes up with a solution, you'll see a 30-second spot by the Republicans. If a Republican comes up with an idea, then the Democrats will run a 30-second spot. But again, I say this because eventually we got to address, if we really want to get down to the crux of the 3.7, the 2.7 difference, we got to talk about that.